Send someone to negotiate.
I've never negotiated.
The African National Congress is speaking in riddles, telling one tall tale after another, acting all high on mighty, unencumbered by their epic electoral decline in 2024, while distracting the gullible Democratic Alliance with crumbs that only the starving would consume in lieu of a seat and a meal at the table. Speaking at the ANC Nicklin over the weekend, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula indicated the ANC is open to dialogue on the expropriation without compensation law. He said, in this particular instance, the Democratic Alliance, if they want to engage, which we are ready to engage on this particular matter in the context of the measures and the mechanisms we have put in place, we will do so, and we'll do so fairly, and we'll do so principled in relation to what we stand for, and that's what everybody needs to actually understand. Excellent. Shall we send in our negotiator? The ANC will not change in its path of transforming South Africa. And with the 40% that we received in the last election, we will persist with the transformation agenda, said Fikile Mbalula.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
40%. Ooh, well, that sounds like a mandate, no? So why did you need the other 9 parties for a coalition if you won the election and can act unencumbered by electoral misfortune, Fikile? ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula accused the Democratic Alliance of being against transformation before stating they were open to discussing this policy misalignment. Against transformation? Well, I suppose if it means schools forcing a colonial language as a medium of instruction, namely English, confiscation of after-tax corporate profits for an ANC slush fund to reward caterers with the preferred skin pigmentation, and legalization of land theft, a tool of political oppression, well, then it would seem understandable that Democratic Alliance would be opposed to transformation. That is black supremacy, or at least ANC supremacy and minority oppression. You see, transformation is not about uplifting the previously disadvantaged as much as it is about craven political power, self-enrichment, and self-aggrandizement of the African National Congress, its cadres, and its favored nouveau riche black elite class, all at the expense of the vast majority of South Africans, black, white, and brown. Mbalula told journalists on the sidelines of the 3-day ANC National Executive Committee Lekgotla at Emperor's Palace in Boksburg that he would be speaking to the Democratic Alliance's federal chairperson, Helen Zille. Now, I'll just bet Helen is dying to sit down with her buddy Fikile, especially given how he has made it clear it's the ANC's communist transformation or it's the highway. For her part, if Helen Zille wants her increasingly irrelevant political party to matter, she better come up with a solution to rolling back expropriation without compensation or find a way to get the ANC to back down, which is unlikely. Otherwise, the only option is to break the GNU and soon. Let the ANC rule as a plurality party, frustrated at every turn, unable to pass liberty-sapping legislation. Why not? Tens of thousands of DA supporters are full of the fecklessness of the party since joining the government of national unity. If the DA actually musters the courage to go, upon departing the GNU, immediately call for a vote of no confidence in the man that you installed in office, Cyril Ramaphosa. You know him, Helen, the guy who does not return your party leader's phone calls. Mbalula said with the 40% that the ANC secured in the 2024 elections, the party would not divert from its path of transforming South Africa. He said the government of national unity is guided by the statement of intent in relation to constitutionalism and the rule of law. But we have said that the GNU is not a melting pot. You've got political parties that don't agree amongst themselves, and in particular, the main contending forces there are the ANC and the DA, not a melting pot. So the other parties do not matter to the ANC. Arrogance personified? Well, that's what it is. The main contending forces there are the ANC and the DA? Well, how so? The only reason the ANC appears to have gone into bed with the Democratic Alliance is exactly the reason I told you 7 months ago, to avoid a coalition with either the Mkhonto we Sizwe party of Jacob Zuma or the EFF and Julius Malema. Now, the bonus for Luthuli House is that a neutered Democratic Alliance is no longer a political threat to the ANC. They're not in opposition. They're part and parcel of your government. The DA is so desperate to show their stuff at national level that they abandon all reason, capitulating to the legacy media over the fake Ronaldo Ghost drama, abandoning their long-held stances on the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, staying silent on the 3% black tax, and now offering only candy-ass responses to the unconstitutional expropriation without compensation law. The DA leader cannot even bring himself to demand anything in the face of lawlessness. At a minimum, the DA ought to have at least proposed the Section 80 effort. Instead, Steenhuisen practically begged Ramaphosa 4 times for a reset of the GNU agreement. A reset? The ANC has destroyed education, frightened off foreign direct investment, and now plans to steal property. In response, John Steenhuisen wants a timeout. The DA and other GNU partners need to face up to the reality that, far from chastised, the ANC is feeling its oats and is emboldened. Actually, it's kind of impressive watching a bankrupt party wholly dependent on foreign aid, acting as if its stupid policies and race hustling have zero consequences. Just let them poke Donald Trump and see how that goes. But you can hardly blame them. The endless corruption scandals, the evisceration of South Africa's industrial base and economy, rampant kleptocracy, horrific crime, load shedding, job losses, service delivery failures, collapsing infrastructure, electoral collapse, and yet, here is the ANC fulfilling the National Democratic Revolution. Communism. Thanks to the Democratic Alliance. Listen to the irony of that. Now, the ANC has successfully co-opted its only effective opposition, and the DA does not even realize it. You see, folks, the DA is essentially a left-of-center European political party, assuming that it is operating in a democratic space, akin to the Christian Democratic Union working with the Socialist Party of Germany to form a government in Germany, in the interest of Germans. In reality, the DA is a left-of-center political party operating in Africa, not Europe, with a communist partner hell-bent on ANC interest above all else, in a highly undemocratic system does not even let you vote for candidates, only parties. The ANC, as dim as it often appears to be, is playing three-dimensional chess in a South African context, while the DA plays checkers. Take it from Meneer Palapala himself, who at the ANC Lekgotla said, being in the GNU will not dilute the ANC's agenda. And that's all you need to know. So what will you do, South Africa? Section 80 contest? A lawsuit? The legislation is clearly unconstitutional. It doesn't even pass a common sense test, and it stinks to high heaven. Will the DA, the Freedom Front Plus, the Inkatha Freedom Party, Action SA, and others stand up and be counted? Or will they roll over like the DA's done on Bella, the 3% black tax, and so much more since they became part and parcel of the man? What say you, South Africa? Cheers.